All right, David, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule. I follow you on social like most fans. I don't feel like you're traveling the world right now, but man, you have been all over the place this summer. I how do you keep it all together? Like,
Yeah, time. I am a student of time. I study time every day. I take the time to study time. I have a minimum of 10 minutes a day that I study time. I pay attention and give intention to all the activities that I planned, I don't have planned, and sleep, the activities I get paid for and I don't get paid for, in the trajectory of where I think I want to be in the future by making sure the lessons of the past, the meaning of the past, the defining moments, setbacks, successes, failures, mistakes, void shortages, and obstacles of the past are aligned with that trajectory of where I think I want to be or better. And I think that a lot of people discount the importance of understanding the productivity, accessibility, and gratitude that exists within being an expert in time. And therefore, it doesn't matter where I am, what space I'm in, it's a matter of how I'm utilizing my attention and my intention with the time that I'm given each day.
yeah, I'm always amazed on where you pop up on IG Live. Like, I never know where you're going to be at. You're, in a car, you're in here, you're, all over the world. So, so I find that fascinating. You know, I first want to say thanks for being so receptive to the shoe. I have a lot of people that I was on a call with a guy yesterday. He actually sent the shoe back to me and said he doesn't need any shoes. So I thought that was interesting.
That
Um,
is.
but most people have been dynamite with that. Um, and I feel like,
I got the box behind me waiting for the other shoe.
well, it's sitting right over here. It'll be sent out tomorrow for sure. Um, you know, I find it interesting, or I really appreciate how receptive you are to just having conversations with people. And for me, someone who is, I've been in the mortgage industry for a long time, and I'm going to step out of that realm and really focus more on my speaking and coaching. And so I'm really aligning with people like Ben Newman's my coach, and
Yeah.
I spent a lot of time with Ben. And but when I'm able to reach out to someone like you that I look up to, and I see all the things that you've done, I appreciate the fact that you're receptive to that. Have you always been that way?
What's so interesting, I have, and the interesting part about what has made me most accessible, and I think what makes me stand out are two things. People of my age or level of experience. One, that I'm more accessible than anyone of my genre. I'm more accessible. Every day, I'm just more accessible. And then two, I'm more consistent than anyone I know, and I will put that up there. I'm not saying I'm more talented. I'm smarter, more enlightened, but I will tell you why. I always was tried to be accessible, but I never was comfortable receiving. So if somebody sent me that shoe, and for those who may or may not know, right, Chris sent me one shoe and said, "Hey, brother, I'd love to have a conversation, and if you have it with me, I'll send you the other shoe." Well, what I would have done is said, "Hey, don't worry about it, right? I wouldn't have sent it back because I wouldn't take on that expense. Don't worry about sending the other shoe. For me, I just want to be accessible. You've obviously taken the time and effort to reach out to me and spent money to do so. And I'm telling you, the difference of Dave Meltzer today in accessibility is I'm receiving more, which gives me more to give. I used to realize, I thought, I could give more with less, and I can't. And so I became really good at receiving more. And now I'm able to give way more than I ever have of myself, of my time, of my money to where people really deserve it. And so I want to thank you for giving me an opportunity not only to give, but to receive and allow others to witness the giving and receiving as well.
Man, well, well, you're definitely welcome. And I did call your phone number, by the way, yesterday. I don't know if you got my voicemail or not, but you
I
you
did.
you gave the number out to everybody at the event. And you're like, nobody calls. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna call. I'm gonna
Yeah,
call David
nobody
today.
called. You were one of the few that called.
That's
There's
so
thousands
funny.
of people, man. You would think I'd get hammered.
Yeah, that's so funny. I think a couple reasons. I think people first don't, they don't really believe it's your number because that happens sometimes. But I
Yeah.
think people they don't know what to say.
Yeah, it is funny that they think they want help, but they really don't know what they want, who they can help, and who can help them, and how to get it done. And I try my best to help people get the discipline and behaviors to figure out each day how to get a little bit better and to utilize the physics, the quantum physics, and the metaphysics of energy, because energy will aggregate, it'll attract more like energy, which is why you and I and Ben are all attracted to each other. It will also then give you exponentiality of outcomes. And we see that in money most of all with compound interest and the rule of 72 with Einstein and all the great legacy wealth that's created in the world through not only likes attracting likes, but the exponential of outcomes. But the other aspect of this energy is shit happens faster, it accelerates, which appeases human nature to a core, because we expect, especially today, younger people, instant results. The instant results have always been human nature, but the word instant literally means instant today. And I'll give you an example that'll probably resonate with you. Remember when they first came out with the bake machine and how fast
Yes.
it was to get money? And now do you realize how slow it is to get money out of a bake machine? Right? Nobody wants to
Yes.
do it. Right? And so it's so interesting. It was called instant cash when it was a bank machine. Now you might as well call it like, legacy cash.
I agree. I don't even know the last time I got cash out of an ATM or had cash really. Like I
Then
seem like I'm a,
you're not going to Vegas because I see them lined up there all the time at my studio trying to get cash for more gambling.
yes, they do, don't they? They definitely are lined up. I bring my cash with me when I go to Vegas. I keep it in the
Right on.
backpack. I'm not paying those crazy fees at that ATM. You talk about crazy fees.
Oh,
Oh my
that's
goodness.
Europe. That's Europe for me. As you know, I travel all over the world, and it's like shit. I got to convert more money, and then it's like, I'll get 100 euros and pay $7.50 of euros. You're like, that's 7.5% instant.
That's crazy. Hey, I do have a question for you. I know you're very one thing I do respect about you is you're very open about sharing with the losses that you've had, right? And I think
Yeah.
I find so much more value when someone shares their vulnerability and that's things they've learned from that. I went through a massive financial loss around the same time you did, not the same amount of zeros that you had, but that still sits in the back of my mind today. And sometimes it slows me down from taking chances or risks. Does it do the same for you?
No, and I'll tell you why. It is present, right? There's only two fears that occur in my life, and they happen every day. You can't get rid of them. One is fear of the past, and the other is fear of the future. When you lose everything, whether you had 100 grand or 100 million like I did, you're going to have fear of the past, of losing everything, and fear of the future that you're not worthy of doing it again or making more. But the difference of me compared to a lot of people is I identify fear. And then I look to see what ego based consciousness I'm prescribing to that fear. See, I know the ego prescribes to fear. And in the way back days of Freud and beyond in caveman days, they have defined the prescriptions as, fighting, fleeing, fornicating, and feeding. Today, they come in different forms like addiction, a need to be right, a need to be offended, anxious, depressed, frustrated, angry. We call them differently, but addiction's nothing more than the need to feed, right? And you're just feeding yourself Oxycontin and heroin and cocaine and alcohol, whatever it may be. So for me, I take a different perspective. I know the fear is there. And so what I've done is create a mechanism to only spend minutes and moments in that fear. So I know 8 times on average a day, I'm going to be terrified that I'm going to screw this all up again, or I'm not worthy of everything I have, all the feelings that I had when I lost everything last time. And instead of spending days, weeks, months, and years, instead of paying my attention and intention on what I don't want, what's missing, or what other people want from me, right? Spending money to impress people, spending money on things I don't need to impress people I don't even like. Instead, I spend minutes and moments and I say, wait a second, I'm not afraid of losing everything. And I know I'm prescribing the need to be less than, and I'm not going to resist it. I'm identifying this, and now I'm breathing, and now I have faith that I'm connected to and through the omniscient, all-powerful, all-knowing source that loves me more than my mom, that protects and promotes me in these situations, not punishing me. and I breathe and I say, I'm going to remind myself, I'm going to remember myself, I'm going to recollect myself what I want today and the trajectory of what I think I want in the future or better by changing the meaning of my bankruptcy, by changing the meaning of losing everything, by changing the meaning of being a liar, a cheater, a manipulator, an overseller, a back end seller. I am changing the meaning because I'm deriving the lessons because I'm better than that now. I've been protected and promoted because of that today, and therefore I've increased my statistical success and my worthiness in order to prosper.
Okay, well, I just got to say something. I needed that right there at that time. Like today, I'm having one of those days, and the only thing that was keeping me, besides my wife, who's 4.5 months pregnant with our son, the only
Congrats.
thing that's keeping me on track was I knew I had an opportunity to get on a call with you today. Now I know the reason why. So, brother, the anybody that's listening to this now, you need to rewind and listen to that again. I literally have goosebumps, David, from what you just said, man. I knew I just, from the first time I heard your voice on social media, I just felt there was some kind of connection there, and now I see why. Now I see
Well,
why.
bless you, my friend. And you are protected and promoted, and there's no accidents, right? What you pay attention to, what you give your intention to, equals the coincidences of your life. And let me tell you one more thing before you have to let me go. You are a bag of beliefs. And those beliefs, that's all you are, is a bag of belief. It's a fleshy bag, but it's a bag of beliefs. And those beliefs, they are what make you do what you do. Those beliefs are making you say what you say. Those beliefs are making you think what you think. And those beliefs are what make you feel what you feel. So if you're not doing what you want to be doing, if you're not saying in alignment with what you want to be doing, if you're not thinking in the trajectory of where you want to be or better, and if you're not feeling it, if you're feeling interference between that inspiration of the all knowing, the omniscient, of that beautiful, unified, infinite system of thought that is inspired, then stop and figure out what you're doing to interfere. FEAR. Figure out what you're doing to interfere with that beliefs and go back, because you have one power. Although beliefs have the power over what you do, say, think, and feel, you have the power to change your beliefs. You give meaning to everything you see. So where I look at my bankruptcy, and before I went bankrupt, if you'd have told me that I brag about going bankrupt, that I tell people that I learned a lot from going bankrupt, that it protected me from dying and losing my wife, that it promoted me to a level that I can empower over 1 billion people to be happy and live in faith and joy, harmony and love. If you would have told me that before I went bankrupt, I would tell you I'd rather die. You could find me hanging in a closet, cancel, because that's how embarrassed I would be to not only tell my friends, my family, but people who don't know me. But guess what? I'm a bag of beliefs. And instead of that belief pervading what I do, say, think, and feel for the future, I change the meaning of it from punishment, embarrassment, shame into power. And I'm here to tell you everyone can change those beliefs. We just have to be consistent and persistent in the pursuit of our potential. We got to spend minutes and moments in fear and spend more of our days in the trajectory of where we want to be or better.
Wow. Thank you so much for your time, man. I, I just thank you. And, thank you for the social and everything you promote out there. And I've got your number. I'm going to be calling, David. So Chris Welton calls. I'm
Anytime, man.
calling.
You gotta join my group. You gotta come to my meetups. I gotta give you a big hug. Where are you located?
I'm in Orlando.
Oh, sweet. I'll be speaking in Orlando October at the Cannonball event there. I'll be in Orlando speaking in October. So I'll be down there and I'll do a meetup and a VIP dinner while I'm down there. So let's make sure we hook up if you don't get somewhere else that I'm at before then. But I definitely will be down there. I think it's October 25th and 26th. I
Okay.
also, any of your audience, by the way, when I get the other shoe, I'm going to give that to a kid.
Okay.
I'm going to figure out, a sports show or something, someone who likes those shoes. So I prove I give more. You can't give more with less. I give more with more, thanks to people like you that give But also for your community, I would love to, sign a book, send them the book. I'll pay for shipping and the book for your community. If they email me, it's right there, david@dmeltzer.com. I
Okay.
do free Friday trainings. I got a great group. Every Monday we meet, private networking group, and I answer questions. So everyone out there, join me and Chris. I'm here to be of service and value. You can do it one hand at a time, like my friend Chris. Be more interested than interesting. Be kind to your future self and do good deeds. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you so much, David. Take care.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for tuning in to the One Hand at a Time podcast today. If you enjoyed the episode, please subscribe and share. I'm often asked if I'm available for speaking opportunities or accepting new coaching clients. The answer is yes. Feel free to click the Calendly link in the show notes to set up a 30-minute call with myself. And remember, as we move forward in life, we do it one hand at a time.